Welcome to this week's energy forecast. I'm Rachel Thompson Phillips, the creator of the Sacred Oracle online program and also of the BEYOU Oracle cards. This week's energy forecast is for February the 10th through till the 16th, with the overall theme being that you are being rebirthed to the new you. Let's explore a little bit more. Monday and Tuesday is the card of SASSY. Wednesday through till Friday is the card of stop, and Saturday and Sunday is the card of speak your truth. Let's dive in a little bit further and explore how these three cards all tie back into the overall theme. Monday with the card of SASSY is an indication, whenever this card shows up, there's an indication that your soul is recognizing that your confidence is not vibrating at the awesome frequency that it can be. And so it brings this card message into your awareness because it understands that we've just had that full moon. And the full moon, as you know, you've heard me say many a times, it can be a time where we feel like all the past stuff just dredges up and brings us up and can make us feel really down in a way. And we start to move into a space where we get exhausted through the emotional information coming through and being exhausted by looking at it and reviewing it and just the highs and lows that come with the full moon period. So the SASSY card comes in and it says, hey, let's recognize this, let's own it, because the SASSY card is about ownership and responsibility. The ownership to recognize that your confidence is not feeling so awesome, but taking the responsibility to go, you know what, I know exactly what I can do to bring myself back into alignment. And that is how we get to reverse engineer. SASSY is about being able to recognize that clothing has a very important role in how we feel about ourselves. The moment that we start noticing that our confidence starts to get diminished, we start noticing we move into what I call like that sloth mode, where we want to put on our, really big oversized clothes, get really, really comfortable and don't really take that much pride in how we look. And that starts to show externally what's going on internally within us. So we want to be able to use that reference point and reverse engineer, because guess what? If you jump in the shower, do your hair, put a little bit of makeup on if that's how you are, or put on your favorite perfume and put some really great clothes on that make you just feel alive and confident again, that's naturally going to reflect externally back internally, because guess what? You're going to look at yourself in the mirror and go, damn, you are freaking hot. And that's what your soul is wanting you to be able to tap back into, feeling that essence of radiating your confidence. Now, the thing that jumps out for me on this card is that leopard print, if you have a look on her shirt. That is a meaning about, and I love how this ties back into the full moon, because the full moon that we've just had is also of the Leo full moon. So Leo is about, and the message behind the stripes on this is being able to access that inner courageous version, being able to access your strengths, being assertive and tap into your personal power. And what that does is, again, starts to radiate externally out into the world. So even if you don't feel like it right at the moment, get in and take those few steps, because I guarantee you're going to feel amazing about all that you feel, because you want to be able to move into that space. Because when you put those clothes on and you just start radiating that awesome femme energy, it's going to help you just be able to own all that you are. And that is so incredibly sexy. The next thing that jumps out for me is that beautiful filigree border that circles and frames her face. Is about having that, remembering that to execute the feminine energy here at this point. When you're not feeling so awesome, it's not always great to use that masculine energy of going, come on, hurry up and get your shit together. You look like a train wreck. That doesn't generate any aspect within self to want to do anything. It usually makes you fall deeper into not feeling so great. So yet, if you use that gorgeous femme energy within you, it allows you to be able to use words or language that's softer and gentler, and be able to say, You are gorgeous. You are divine. Look at you. Let's let the outside radiate what's going on inside of our own self to counteract that confidence that's being knocked within you. And let's bring things back out so I can just radiate my femme gorgeousness once and again. Now, this moves through to the energy for the midweek from Wednesday through till Friday, being the card of stop. When we feel that our energy is not feeling so awesome, and then we're going to go in and do that beautiful, I would call it a ritual. The moment that you notice that you're not feeling so great and you take that responsibility and you do something to get yourself back on, like i.e. your hair, makeup, clothing, it's like a ritual because you know that's what you need to do, and because you know the end result's going to make you feel amazing, and it helps you to be able to break that cycle of not feeling great about yourself. Now with midweek, about the stop card, the thing that jumps out for me on this card is about the blue eyeshadows. The blue is about being able to go within and feel re-energized again. And what that's saying is that we spend so much time being external, getting lost in social media and technology, and sometimes we don't really always want to do the very thing that's required, which is to go within, because we're scared of what we'll say to ourselves, or what we will hear, or what will be unlocked within our own self. So we avoid that. But you'll find that Wednesday through to Friday, you'll notice that this starts to fall into place, because normally when this card shows up, we also become aware that our energy starts to vibe at a low frequency. Now, before I go on any further, I really want you to be able to understand that you can have low energy, but your mindset can still be in a really good place. So be aware of that. Just because we get a low vibing energy doesn't mean that we can't still be really positive and feel fabulous on the inside. What happens is when our energy starts to decline, that gives us access because we don't have the energy to keep on going. So be aware that if this is something that shows up for you now, not everyone may experience that, but I do want to talk to the people that do feel that. The moment that you notice that your energy is declining, this is a very big indication coming from your soul that's saying, I want you to be able to slow down and go within, because when you don't have the energy, you actually stop and rest. And that is what's needed. When we get so heightened by a full moon, we actually are consuming so much energy internally that we fail to remember that. And the stop card is saying, I need you to slow down and become consciously aware of what has shown up for you. I want you to be able to access that real truth of what's going on for you. I want you to just honor where you've been. I want you to honor that for a moment that your confidence wasn't feeling so great. And I want you to honor and have a sense of gratitude that you've got up and you've basically got your shit together. You've taken that responsibility to take the first step to get yourself feeling good again. And I need you to be able to come within and be able to access this, because I'm going to reveal the next step for you. And what this also does is it gives you an opportunity to course correct at any given moment. When we go within and access that bit of information from our own self and our energy is not vibing at the frequency that we want it to do, we get that opportunity to overview whatever is going on in your life at that point and be able to make subtle changes to bring yourself back into alignment, i.e. course correct. Make any tweaks or adjustments that's required to get you back in flow with feeling fabulous, so that all that awesome, bold, brave energy that comes through with the Leo full moon, you know exactly where to channel that so that you get optimum results, you get wicked outcomes, rather than just letting all of that amazing energy just get, you know, moved into a space of scatteredness. We want to really harness this beautiful energy that's showing up for the full moon and channel it towards the direction of where you want to go from this point. So that's what makes that, the stop, so vital. The pink on her lips is the next thing that jumps out on the stop card, and that's about our heart chakra can show up in either the colors of pink or green. So the pink is about being able to, as you go within, be able to have those conversations with self that are really honest about where things are at this point. And this gives you more access to be able to access your strength and your truth at the same time too, and to also be able to tap into that brave energy of having that conviction and that confidence in yourself to go, you know what, I can consciously create the life that I want. And it all begins with being able to access my own truth from going within. And so therefore, this is a gorgeous moment, and it's also a beautiful moment to be able to fall back into some gorgeous self-care rituals that your soul is wanting at this time. Whenever there is a full moon, there is a heightened level of overactivity in our mind, our body, our soul, our spirit, our emotional well-being. Everything goes into hypersensitivity. And so therefore, not only with your energy being brought back in, it's also about being able to honor where is it that you're not taking 100% care of yourself, and what can you do to give that to yourself right now to nourish your soul. And all of these beautiful little acts of self-care that you do for your own self is going to help elevate and bring up your energy, so that therefore you've got this radiance that's coming from within. You're taking beautiful care, which then leads us on to the weekend's energy around Speak Your Truth. Is about the first thing about this card that jumps out for me is about the blue, as you can see, the blue lines coming down from her eyes. The message behind that is about being scared of making this, the changes that you need to do. This is really important, that you will start to gain access to that level of vulnerability that might come up when you have these conversations, what I call soul chats, and you really drop some truth bombs about being able to be really honest and transparent with yourself and be able to recognize, I really want to make these changes, but I'm actually really scared. I'm scared that maybe if I give everything that I'm not going to get the results. I'm scared of if I don't do something, what will be the outcome long term? How's that going to affect me internally if I don't take the steps? And being able to just have these conversations and being able to navigate around them, but still coming back to understanding that having these truthful conversations with self will help you to be able to recognize what's going on internally with you and to make those beautiful adjustments. Okay, so the next thing that comes out for me is the little blue, almost looks like a dot on her lips. And this is about being able to understand that when you've gone within and you've been able to honor that you're maybe a bit scared of making all of the changes to be able to follow what's within your heart, is that you're going to get this new expression with self. That transparency and that honesty is going to come from a place that drives you forward, not depletes you and pulls you down. It's about being able to feel like that you're ready to reveal this truth to yourself, and that you are being rebirthed into this new you, because this absolute transparency with self is exactly what your soul is asking you to do, to really honor your soul purpose, your journey here in life, and the things that lights your soul up. And I know we talk about this all the time, but how often do we actually take the actionable steps? And that is where the soul truths are coming, because it's coming in and it's saying to you, you've got these two choices. You can either keep doing what you're doing, and that's what they say is the first sign of insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over but expecting a different result. Or we can honor that you're feeling a little bit fearful about making the changes, but this is where, by learning to tune into your soul, taking those self-care, making self-care a priority, is also going to nourish and nurture your soul. So you're going to be able to move through those fearful things, because the card message around here is learning to say yes to you. and taking those small steps. So the next thing that jumps out with the card of Speak Your Truth is the trees that are coming through her throat chakra. So learning to be able to have these soul conversations with self at that really deep soul level, where you can't have BS conversations because you'll hear yourself catch yourself out. Sometimes they may be really, really new for you, and that you may be doing things behind the scenes and you're not quite ready to be able to share that with others just yet, because you're learning to adapt to this new rebirthed version of your own self. So allow yourself to get comfortable. So the trees, as you can see, aren't fully matured yet, which means that to be patient with yourself as you access this truth. And when you feel ready, you will then be able to then share those expressions of what's going on internally, the changes that you're making, or even being able to honor those, honor that you've been scared of some of the changes. When you're ready, you'll be able to then therefore be able to communicate those with others. So to be patient with yourself as you're first being rebirthed into the new version of yourself. Let yourself adapt to that first. Find what works for you. It also helps you to unlock what doesn't work for you. So learn to get comfortable with that within your own self first before you go out there and say it to the world. And all of these are helping you to become more and more truthful with yourself. And this is where you start to realize that this is where you've been rebirthed. Every single one of these cards throughout the week is rebirthing your confidence at the start of the week. Rebirthing and course correcting to bring yourself into alignment is rebirthing you to live on purpose. Being able to speak your truth come the weekend is about being able to honor. You may not have been confident at that, maybe your confidence has been shattered, but you've become consciously aware of that. You're taking ownership and responsibilities, and you're bringing things on track, and you are now allowing yourself this new expression of honesty and transparency, and all of this is helping you be rebirthed into that next level evolution of self. So it's an incredibly exciting week, but it's also a week where you gain access to another variation of your own self. And that's a variation of rebirthing, of going up. But in order to go up, we must first go within and dive deeper to unlock some of those layers, remove some of the untruths, and allow yourself to be able to gain access to that soul version that just wants you to radiate that absolutely divine, gorgeous, potent femme that you are, and stand in that space and show up being all that you are. And that's show up how you are at this point, with those fears, with those doubts, with those conversations, but show up with that. But you can still radiate that brave, courageous version, that lioness within you, and step into that beautiful, what I would call that divine queen, where you own the space. So I wish you an incredibly amazing week. Feel free to tag or share this with anyone that would love, or you think that will need to hear this message or want to hear this message. And also feel free to I'll get that word out, subscribe below. And much love to you all. Take care and have an incredibly empowering, beautiful week. Take care.